Cast. Let me start recording. Alright. Hello everybody, this is Priad, and this is the very first time I ever fought Faust in a ranked game, and I'll speed this up just to get the units out and I'll talk about what's going on. I have seen Faust play from replays that he uploads to the Wargame Red Dragon beta dump, not drum, and casts by other famous casters like Vulcan and Firestarter. So typically I know that he leaves the right side from this perspective open. Foss is blue, Priad myself is on the right in red. On the right in red, okay. Uh, Usually Faust is a very aggressive player, I already knew that. Talking with Legatus, alright, game started. I will show you his start. So he starts with a K-52 Mi-24D. So the K-52, recon, anti-helo, anti-radar units, it's very effective. It also has stealth. Don't forget about that. Stealth is really, really cool. Mi-24D, no stealth, and it's about as fast. So this will get ahead of the K-52 if you're not careful. Depends on how you want to use it. It has GRU in it, as you can tell by the recon. There's absolutely no reason to put Razvedska in it. It's way too expensive for that. Unless you have like a motorized deck or something, airborne. Okay, so that's his helicopter push. Probably going to Delta with the K-52 and pushing away if the opponent has stronger anti-helos, something that I need to work on. I usually just charge in and die anyway. Okay, so he has one CV here, standard play. He put a CV over here. Some reason it didn't go into the building. That's unfortunate. So I'll know that he has an infantry squad when this CV moves and this one is staying here and it's out and then moving into the building. It'll do that, that one tick of the sound, like boop or something like that. I'm amazing at sounds. Alright, so he has one recon vehicle. You don't really need too many recon vehicles if you're using the K-52 and you don't suck with it, like I do. BTRDs, VDV are in him, almost guaranteed. Tunguska M for anti-air, 272B1s, and Spetsnaz GRU in this BTR-90. More than likely, he is completely pushing Alpha with all these units. Next one is myself. I'll show it from this perspective, the way that I see it. So I have same idea, infantry squad, K-29TB. I copied Faust actually with a K-29TB, mostly because it has more rockets than the MTV. It's a little bit more expensive, but it has more life. And that's really what you're looking for, damage soak and recon with it. I also am doing an Mi-24D recon on the side. Zalo BDRM3 for pushing over to this area. And no, I have no idea which one gets where first. I just place it based on how I want to click. UAZ, going Bravo, go figure. The way that everyone does it. BRDM3, this will go to recon this left side over here. And I will probably bring all these units to the right side. And for some reason I have a T80 in my deck, probably from Mike and Faust talking about 72A versus T80 and their effectiveness. The main thing is that optics are poor, so it relies on others, but it is a more effective tank than the other one, 72A, as long as you're not in a forest. So I bring up a Tor and an Osa, and another tank, and a bunch of vehicles. I pretty much had the same units as Faust. So we'll start, I'll slow it down. Actually, I'll go fast, because nothing happens for a little bit. By the time that the helicopters meet over here, you can buy a 90-point plane, or 90-point anything, rather. Okay, so I'll slow it down, paused it by accident, but I'm using an MI2 versus a K-52 because I've had the experience of MLDs just completely destroying my K-52 and I have no response. It's 130 points for free for the enemy. So he sees everything, he decides what to do. I have to watch out with my radar versus that. Mi-24Ds fighting each other. Possibly, not really. Oh, apparently I push everything up over here. He buys a BTR-90 for his base defense. I bring in an MLD, something that I don't have in my deck currently. This is really to try to snipe this K-52. Watch its effectiveness. Take a look at that. Bam. 2 Vimples. You see that? That was a free kill. That's why I don't use the K-52 too often as a starter. It really just pisses me off to lose it that way. And I'm really notorious for losing my helicopters at the start of a game. I really just don't take care of them as well as I should. So Faust has made it to my 2-point sector way before I have. That is a complete mistake on my end. Pretty much a lot of people on this map, they try to fight here for some reason. They try to fight here for some reason. This map is all about your 2-point sectors. Let's say that the enemy pushes through, owns these sectors only, these three, right? That's 2, 4, 5, 6. Now you, on the other hand, own the rest of the map. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're down by 1, you own a shit ton of territory to bring units to, and that means the enemy can choose any which way to fuck you over. He can bring units through this ravine, or rather the big river. He can attack helicopters to your flanks. He can do whatever he wants because your units are split. And that's why you need recon. Always try to get a helicopter up here. MLD just got off refueling and rearming. I went after this. So my forces are getting side shots over here if they come out. 72 B1s are moving towards mine. A-29 shooting the 24 MD because it's on the ground. But it's also getting screwed over by BRDM-3 and autocannons and all sorts of junk. He's bringing BRDM-3 because he saw that I had the helicopter here land troops, so he knows exactly what's going on. So I get my side shots, do some damage. His VDV, they're gonna kill my tank. Well, look at the range. He's working out better than me. MiG-27 going after Tunguska. So one tactic, if you have only one AA piece, do not get it out of do not get it out of the cover. You must be next to cover. Especially against low optic recon, like good and medium. So I get to kill his units for absolutely free. And that's no good. Zalo shooting rear armor, that's the only reason why it gets to fire. Wow, it actually used almost all the ammo. So this is getting panicked. It sees the Zalo and takes it out in one shot while panicked. T-80 finishes him off in the front. Tor not firing yet. PD coming out to fight them MLD. Tor shooting on it. Probably, ooh, it's a hit. Lucky me. Alright. So Faust, recognizing that he's in trouble, brings up some more units. But he is in a better position than me. To fight this as Russian, you really need BTR-90s. You don't have good fire support, except for Su-122s, which I don't think are in my deck. Which are, if I was American, I would have CEVs, at least 2 of them, just because they do 8 splash, but I play Russian ranked, just because I'm more comfortable with the units. BRDM-3s are awesome. Probably the strongest 35-point recon you can get that isn't infantry. Zalos, they also have optics for themselves, so they're pretty good hunter-killers on their own. Faust spreading out, trying to get all the cover that he can. As you can see, all these units over here doing absolutely nothing. Whereas his units are all on the front. Even if he lost stuff, he still has good territory. We're not buying CVs because there's a lot of forces on the field. We'd be in trouble if we did. Points are low. Not a big deal. This is going to get wrecked by this. 2 squads, kill it within a couple seconds. There you go. 72B1 moving up the road. BRDM-3 sees it, runs away a little bit. But if this keeps on going up, it's just going to take it out quickly. No trouble. I have Zalos. They're actually fire support as well. They have 20 rate of fire, so they'll do maybe 1 to 2 damage. They'll probably do more like 0 to 1 damage for every shot on a building. Infantry in a building, rather. BRDM-3 sees the BTRDs, which we're trying to scout, and takes them out really easily. BTR-90s just holding the fort. I lucked out that they didn't flank up yet. So, point blank range, tank wins. Usually. Spetsnaz GRU, I do not see them. Take a look. I don't see them, but I know that they're dying to something. So my Zalos can't fire support just yet. MiG-27 coming out. I don't see his... I see this tank. Oh, and for some reason I have a BMP-3. That's different. And it kills the tank because it was at 3 life. Motostrelki, pretty much the worst infantry squad you can get, but the vehicle BMP-3 is pretty cool. Big Fist takes out a bunch of infantry. More than likely I will lose because 2 sniper rifles are pretty strong against 1 infantry squad. BTR-90's making a push for Bravo. MiG-27 should have gone after this BRDM-3, but it didn't. Faust recognizing that he has a chance, he's buying a CV and getting a helicopter with it. See these units, this really, I should have scouted with this BTR 70 and stuff. MLD coming out, mostly because I left this plane out for so long. I see this eventually and I start to react. I bring a CV for Alpha because I'm covering it. I own most of Alpha, so I know where his units are if they are anywhere. And I have safe areas that are harder to guess. BTR 90s won't see anything, they're in the forest too far. BRDM-3 killed the transport for the VDV. T-80 fire support as well. OSA spotted by GRU. So he does not know where this squad is. Spetsnaz GRU doing their job, always being a beast. Take a look. They took out so much points, it's just unbelievable. So I don't know where these guys are, I just expect them to be here. This guy didn't spot them, so I'm gonna be in trouble very soon. Let's see if I spot it. So I spotted it just a little bit, and now a little bit longer. Neutral, MiG-27, gonna go do some work. That's bad, it only took out one. I had poor control. I should have moved this CV a little bit earlier. Faust puts it in. He's probably gonna kill it. It looks like a plane's called out, PD, makes sense. See that Tunguska? I had no idea it was there. BTR 90 moving up, I do not see it. But I know that there is one around and it's near my CV. For some reason I don't move my CV. I really don't know why I didn't. Faust brings out 72B1s pretty often compared to my 70 T80s. So I'm going to lose my CV right here. Ba-boom. 2 seconds. Alright, probably less. Spetsnaz GRU, probably going to kill everything that's going near it. They actually killed all the infantry that were around here and the vehicles. That's really impressive. There was only 30 men, and now there's only 10 in 2 different squads. BTR 90 versus BRDM 3. BTR 90 should win. Holy crap. BRDM 3 landed most of its shots. Alright, lucked out. Afghansky's pretty decent for secondary or front line anti-helo, maybe even anti-infantry suppression unit and cannon fodder. T-80 spotted by GRU. T-80 bad optics, cannot fire on GRU until just there. 25 PD giving cover because he knows I'll bring something for that. BRDM-3 taking out the BMP. MLD versus PD. He wins. Yeah, the Tor shot hurt it. Kind of had a glancing hit, if anything. Possibly the MLD actually hit it with the fire and forget missile. Look at that. 10-man squad knocked down to 5 from 1 man. That is impressive. Alright. Motoshelki 90, we'll see how useless they are. They're pretty much cannon fodder, and they can do something in a forest, but not really. You're better off with something else. Morskaya Pagoda. Trying to shoot at that. Only probably 2 rocket RPGs hit to do that kind of damage to front armor of a 72B1. GRU trying to find that Tor. I'm trying to get the GRU. T-80 finishes it off. Lucky me. GRU running away. I think that I lose the Tor. BTRD, that's 3 VDV squads. That's going to be a lot of firepower. I really should have had this BTR 90 up here, possibly moving around. And this squad should have been on the edge to spot things. If you notice, this has been doing nothing all game. So it's kind of really just, what is that? 25, 15, 35, 20, 30, not 25, 30, and 65. That's at least 200 points right there. It's excessive not doing anything. GRU takes out the Tor. Tunguska moving up with the B1. He's getting ready for a real push. I have very little to stop it. I'll speed it up a little bit just to get units in action going on. I'm bringing out units, but I had problems because Bravo was not capped, so things took a lot longer. I should have brought helicopters. Slow it down. See, it fired 4 rockets, took out 3 men. That's a pretty good trade. for something that you get with a CV. Another T-80 taken out with this GRU or some other vehicle. I don't know. It's like a BRDM-3 or something. Spetsnaz GRU 4 versus 8. Guess who's gonna win? It's gonna be a no contest. Mi-24D coming up. Something to note is that because the Mi-24D is with the recon squad, it gets to be pretty high veterancy, and so it'll be a little bit more combat effective, and it'll take a bit more morale damage before panicking and being useless. That's why it's a really good anti-infantry when you're using it to support a town, like as fire support. Spetsnaz not in the building yet. Look at that. BTR-90 didn't work on it. Spetsnaz GRU should have been, well, Spetsnaz should have been firing their napalm launcher, but they didn't because I didn't microwave well enough. This fight should have been I think this takes that out. Probably going to take a good amount of damage from that Tunguska. Take a look at that. PD called out in response, a little bit late, but that's mostly because the map is long. MiG-27 coming out because he sees something. Oh, the T-8. Spetsnaz is probably spotting that. Again, this is why this tank needs a recon next to it. Poor optics, can't see shit. So the T-80 is your support tank, while the 72A is can fight on its own and handle most things. While Blue 4 tanks are better on their own, they have less armor, but they're more accurate. That's the trade-off that Eugene tried to do. 72B1 being brave, moving straight into a forest with known infantry squads. GRU moving up to secure this area. This squad just being spotted. MiG-27's gonna gun run each other, possibly? No. That's interesting. I traded a MiG-27 for a B1. That is not a good one. GRU squad moves into the forest to give recon and kill whatever's in the way. OSA firing. Nope. That OSA should have been brought closer to this CV. That Mi-24D, I don't actually know what happened to it. That's kind of weird. Alright. He's calling in more VDV. So Faust is putting the pressure on me, whereas I'm slow capping over here. In reality, I could have really scouted with these vehicles, and I really should have, but, you know, first time fighting him, not really knowing too much against him. Faust is more calm when under pressure, as he's done it before. I was relatively decent Brigadier. I was on the low end of Brigadier. Alright, Spetsnaz fighting Morse Kappa, not using napalm launcher just yet. Running away from him. Alright. BRDM-3 will be moving to this spot over here, then probably where the GRU are, so that they get side shots over here on tanks and front shots on all light armor vehicles. Spetsnaz GRU doing work. Faust finally taken notice of this BTR-90 that did nothing at his base. I have 0 base defense, and it's even in the open. I bring up another AA piece. So, to stop this kind of slow push the way he's doing it, I could have had units over here. At least like a tank or a BRDM-3 or a Zalo, anything that can do fire support. This BRDM-3 trying to find that Spetsnaz squad, successfully finds them, panics them, and shreds them. Plane called out, it's PD. Pretty much given air support, because this is pretty much the time to bring out your ASF, keep it in your back lines, pay attention to your map. Anything moving fast on your mini-map is a plane. Everything else moves really slow, as you can see. Relative speeds. GRU squad moving in. I don't think that I spotted it. Yeah, I didn't spot it. Because the forest over here is too thick. So I don't know that's going on. But MI2, does it see it? I don't think so. So pretty much a T-80 with an MI2 would be pretty good together, maybe with a Zalo or BRDM3. (72B1) fighting a BTR-90. In reality, you should be moving your tanks away from a BRDM3 that's using grenades because it will do criticals very often, and it can cascade and just make your tank completely useless and get killed. So this VDV squad's scouting around, trying to figure out what's going on. And BTRDs find Spetsnaz. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. BTRDs wreck Spetsnaz. Morskaya Pekota helping out the B1. B1 unable to shoot the GRU, but the Morskaya Pekota more than capable. Got a Zalo, T80, and a B1. So this reset will make the shot probably be a 10% accuracy. We'll see. Oh, 44. Look at that. It's really close. Should be about 99% at that range. T80 versus B1. B1 should see the T80 first. Look at that. Boom. That's what optics does in a forest. Medium versus bad. Medium sees first, and so it gets to aim and load the shell and fire. MiG-BIS coming in, mostly trying to kill that infantry squad. Does nothing. I don't think that I see the Tunguska, yeah. If this was... So pretty much the helicopter should have been over the forest so that it doesn't automatically land. Zalo's coming up. They see the BRDM3. We'll see if it kills it. It should be killed, but you never know. RNG's a bitch. As you can see, Faust keeps on bringing BTRDs. The idea is that cheap 30 points. Whenever you're trying to make a deck, try to get a strong, useful infantry squad that's about 30 points. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do effective pushes that have cannon fodder. 27 coming up with a PD for cover. I only have 2 OSAs and a third one back here. Unfortunately, my OSA did not see that. 72B1 getting side shots on a resupply truck, possibly. I don't know. Didn't notice. No time to look. Command squad in. Take a look. That +1. I only had a +1 lead for like 5-10 minutes maybe, and it only gave me this many points, and now he's pushing here the whole game, stressing me out with that, and he's got a +1 because of it. I could cap here, but that's 100 points away from my mainline forces, and I am extremely weak. Look at this. 2 AA pieces and a tank fighting it. I got nothing for the tank. BTRDs surrounding the Spetsnaz. My VDV up front doing nothing. GRU trying to find that infantry CV. This is the point where I lost it when I didn't bring up enough tanks. I never brought up a tank heavy enough to fight a B1. And my recon was just lacking for my plane use. So this MiG-BIS, trying to hit this guy, which is one of the worst ideas ever. PD's gonna wreck it. Yeah, Tunguska helps out. Unnecessary though. PD goes down because of all the OSAs, but still. VDV, probably gonna kill it. 72B1 might get my OSA because of all the stuns going on. Yeah, not good for me. I lost this game right here. This is the point where there's no recovery. It's all because he used better tanks and more infantry. That really... Look at the infantry types. I have only VDV, 1 squad, 2 Spetsnaz, 2 Spetsnaz GRU. The point difference is significant. His AA piece, he only brought out 2 this whole game. 3 back there. Yeah, 3 the whole game. Excluding the KA-52 that got 1 pretty much killed within the first 2 minutes of the actual combat. Mostly at this level, if someone uses helicopters at this point, it's tactical helicopters, like 1 infantry squad trying to get to a position, or it's a helicopter rush, and most people at this rank don't helicopter rush until later on when things get crazy. So he sees that I have nothing fighting his VDV move out to see what happens. He splits it off, puts the smaller squad in. I notice this and I'm like, oh god, I got nothing for it. His B1's gonna kill this D, as well as these. And he brings up more B1s. He's also bringing up 72As because his B1s have done their job. He's bringing up the Mi-24D to infiltrate my forces. I have a Zalo here just in case he tries to bring some units here. I have no idea what's going on, pretty much. This VDV squad will kill the UAZ pretty easily. So his B1 should have been up to here maybe already, but his VDV took care of that, no problem. See that? Plus 3 points. Look at the map control difference. He has one squad there, and just random spotters. If I noticed this was open, I could have went straight through. I could have put a CV there and stopped his planes. Which I think that someone casted a game against Faust where that enemy was over there, Faust was here, one CV, one BRDM3 that was a hero, and the guy never put a CV here against all the planes that Faust used. That was his downfall. That was just stupid. It's just not usual that people can do that in a game to get that far with it. Optical failure because of a close range shot. VDV, they stole my Ural. This is just bad. So I'm just gonna fast forward. I really don't do much after this point. I'm just like, well shit, I can't do much. Mi-24D wrecking light armored vehicles. Spetsnaz you trying to snipe that VDV squad, but the VDV squad more than likely will get to the UAZ. Yep, boom. That's what I get for being silly. If I just brought up an Mi-24D, I could have gotten to here at least, and done something about it. I bring up an OSA to fight that Mi-24D. Turns out the Mi-24D is retreating, and rightfully so. It's out of most of its effective weaponry against these units. 2 seed planes come out. Because of the OSA, I have the radar off. Everything's hotkeyed to the same button. Typically, if I hotkey things, it's 1 through 5 because my left hand is by WASD, and that's every game that I've ever played. 1 through 5, and TGB is as far as my hand goes on the left side. So I don't hotkey anything past that. I highly recommend trying to keep the same concept of units hotkeyed. I use 3. You see, look at this, BTR 90. Went straight through, only the GRU get it, but nothing in the way. Would have been a huge surprise for him if it did something. So he owns Alpha. I am stretched thin, doing nothing. See this +1 is just gonna do +1, it'll still be +2. It's always better just fight for this, get some recon over here, and use planes to kill it. Now let me do it from this perspective, because nothing's gonna happen on the left. I'll teach you something. If an enemy pushes you really hard on the right from this perspective, all that you gotta do is get recon to this building, over here, and allow him to own it. It's 1-1. The units will do nothing on the left side to the +2 sector. Plus, look at the airspace difference. Your air spawn is right here, his is all the way back there. You can get any plane you need to blow up shit here when you spot it. Enemy crossing the bridge, get a plane, kill it. Easy. Or a helicopter even if you notice no AA. So it really just tactically this is useless. Just recon it, and if you notice that it's a really thin, infiltrate with 1 or 2 units. But the main fighting should be in this whole area. Look at the line, it's so concentrated against what I've got. It's just, no. I bring up AA pieces because I'm right here. I should have just fast moved in, but I was waiting on AA because he has planes against me. A MiG-27 would kill the BRDM and the tank, and I would have no forces to fight this. So, again, that's the whole concept behind it. And he saw that, so he gun-runned it. It's a pretty good tactic. Especially with a MiG-27 and SU-24s. Pretty strong guns. Gun runs it again? Yeah. Just to show air dominance against me, just to be like, you know? Alright, nothing else really happens. I'm just gonna stop it, or go really fast, show you the loss differences. Look at that, how fast that is. Oh my god. Look at that air dominance. That's just, don't let that happen, guys. And he kills the CV. Look at that. That's crazy. So the kill difference, 1,000 points. My units were spread from the start. No good. Well done by Faust.